Hi Gina, can you hear me now? Hello Gina, can you hear me?
Elizabeth, please, what is your password?
And we are live. Hello everybody, good evening, and thank you for joining. We're still trying to set up over here, but I can see you joining. Thank you for the wait. I've been seeing everybody on the group, and I can tell you for free that you're not going to regret being part of this particular session. So I'm just going to give some more time, wait for more people to join us. And if you don't have your notes yet, this is your chance to go and get your notes. So please go and get your notes and let us begin. So I can see us joining. Please, if you know that there's somebody you know that should be in this session, share the link with them so they can also join. Because, like I said, this is going to be a power packed session. So, you don't, as much as you don't want to miss it, you also don't want the next person to also miss it. So, I'm going to, I think I have Gina on stage now, and she's going to do her little introduction, and then I will come back on stage, and then we can go right into business, because this is really not a session to convince you or try to motivate you. Oh, do this better or do that better. No, 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 no. We want to tell you the pain points. We want to tell you the things that you're doing wrong and tell you how to fix them.
Daisy,
So, like I
please, can
said,
you go to your
I'm
YouTube?
not
Let me just check.
seeing I'm
Yeah.
not seeing the numbers that I'm not seeing the numbers that I want to see at this point. So, like I said, we're still going to give a little time and still wait for people to join. And at exactly 7:05, that's in 3 minutes, we're going to kick off, because I also feel like Gina is also having some internet issues. So please bear with us. Like I said, share with people if you've not joined yet. If you know someone that has not joined yet, share this link with them. Have them join this session, because they are going to thank you for it. Okay. I can still see our numbers are rising. Welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join this session. You're not going to regret it. Like I said, we're just going to hop right into what we have to talk about today, which are the 5 critical steps that you need before you can land your dream job or fix it, because there are little things that we might ignore that recruiters like me have seen over the years, that we know that okay, this is a problem that most job seekers have, right? But before I move too fast, or I move faster than my move faster than my shadow, this was what Gina was supposed to do, but I think she's having internet issues, so I'm just going to do it so that we don't keep you guys too long. So good evening, beautiful people. Before we start, tell us where you are joining from. So just drop in the comments where you're joining from, where you currently are, the time where you are as well, just so we get to know each other. Tell us if you're currently working, or you're looking for a job, or you're staying at home, you're a stay-at-home mom. Just give us a comment of where you are and who you are, because like I said, we are a community and we're really excited to have you join us today. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. We're here to grow, okay? So drop in the chat, tell us where you're from, and let us proceed. So let me tell you the truth, right? Let me tell you the truth about living in Nigeria now. In fact, it's not even something that I have to say. It is what is happening, what is the reality of a lot of us. You're working 8 to 5, or you're working 9 to 5, and your salary will finish even before it lands. Sometimes you spend more than 50% of your salary on your transportation and feeding. And you ask yourself, what is the main reason I get up every day and I move and I leave my house? You have no savings. And even when you try to keep it for the rainy days comes after 2 days. I'm sure this is something that a lot of us can relate to. Fuel is expensive. Baby food is expensive. Eggs are expensive. Rice is expensive. But the salary has not changed. It has not increased. So what we're going to be talking about is practical things that you get to do right now, that will actually show you changes, or you see changes in your job search, and it's going to move you from being a random hustler to somebody that is actually looking for intentional results. But before I proceed, I'm going to point out some habits that Nigerian job seekers have that often cuts them short or cuts them off a lot of recruitment processes. Little things that don't even have anything to do with your qualification, right? Things like your the way you carry yourself, right? Your communication, things like your professionalism. But before I get too deep, I still want us to wait for some people, right? So yeah, I can see everybody here. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you guys for joining. Somebody says she's partially working. I So please share. Oh, don't forget to share this link so that other people will hear the good news, right? So I'm sure by now you already know that this is not any casual webinar. It is the map that you have been needing. So I'm saying it again. If you don't have your pen, if you don't have your notes, this is your chance to run and get them. So now let's talk about these overlooked habits, these bad habits that a lot of Nigerian job seekers do, that don't just relate to their productivity dropping, it also relates to their mindset. It relates to their communication, even their consistency in what they do. So these habits, I'm going to talk about them. So if you know that any of these things I'm going to mention, you are guilty of them, then maybe you have to go and ask yourself some questions and tell yourself that you have to do better. Number one is missing deadlines. You have poor time management skills. You tell somebody, yes, I'll get it ready for you in 2 days. And in 2 days, you can't even figure out what you were even supposed to do. I always say it is better to give the client a far deadline so that you give yourself enough time to practice and enough time to do what they want done if you're not an expert. But if that is not the case, and you now tell them, oh, I can get it done in 4 hours, get it done in 2 days, once you fall their hand, according to Nigerian slang, once you fall their hand that first time, it's going to be very difficult for them to trust you again. So trust and credibility are two very important points that you have to have. There are two values that you need to have as a remote worker. Somebody that will be trusted by both employers and clients. Because when you work from home, you don't have any manager that's coming to look at you and supervise what you're doing. So you need to have time management skills so that you don't miss deadlines that you give to people. Number two is lack of consistent follow-up. One thing you don't know is whatever course you're taking, somebody has taken them. In fact, so many people have taken them. Whatever level of education you think you have, somebody else has something higher. So your competitions are always there. There's always someone that's better than you at what you do. So the only thing that makes you different, as much as you're trying to make yourself better, is the fact that you keep showing up, you stay consistent. The clients are the ones that have the money. Your job is to bring the money out of their pockets. So if you don't know how to talk to them, if you don't know how to be consistent and get them to finally bring that money out of their pockets, finally give you their project, then there is no reason for you to stop. You have to keep showing up. But then you don't have to make it seem like you're desperate. Check in on them every once in a while. Happy Mother's Day. This. Have the numbers on your phone so that you can see their status. You don't have to comment. Just be reacting hearts to their status. So that anything they are doing, they are seeing you there. And whenever they need that your service, the first person that comes to their head is you. So that is why consistency is very, very important. So if you know that you are not a consistent person, this webinar is your call to tell yourself that, look, from now on, I have to be intentional about showing up. Write in the comments, I have to be intentional about showing up. I have to be intentional about showing up. Number three thing that you have to stop, or that we have to stop, is neglecting professional online presentation. You don't have any steez, according to Twitter. You need to package yourself in a way that when somebody says, oh, what's your price list? You give them one very nice design of your price list. That is what makes you different from somebody that will just type it out as a text. When someone says, tell me about what you do, you say, I have a brochure I can share with you. I have a website. I have a portfolio. I have work that can actually that can speak for me. I don't have to tell you too much. Because employers and recruiters, we see a lot of people every day. In fact, there are some people that my sister knows about that, honestly, if you ask me, I probably don't remember. So but there are people that I will always remember their name. Well, I will always remember their CVs. I will ask, like, how far is this person employed? Because this person stood out in my memory. And it's this thing. You need to be professional. Your LinkedIn, that is your professional house. Your LinkedIn is like your signboard. Your LinkedIn has to be updated. Your LinkedIn has to be active. Even if you're not posting, you are engaging with other people. You're connecting with other people in the like industry. And when you try to connect with somebody and you don't have any representation or any portfolio or any proof of the work that you say you've done, you can speak from now to next year or everything you can do. If there is no proof, if there is no document I can open, if there is no link I can tap on and take me to the page that you say of a video that you've done or a design that you've made, then there's a problem. So your professional online presentation is very, very important. Another thing that we have to stop is procrastination. Procrastination will put you in a lot of trouble because when you say I will do it later today, you say I will do it later tomorrow until you not get to that deadline, and then you have to work under pressure. And it's not, if you're not making mistakes, you're getting on the bad side of your clients. And these are things that you have to intentionally try to avoid. And that's why you don't procrastinate. If it's something you can do now, you do it now. In our boot camp, we had the class, and I taught them about a rule, the 40-minute rule, where you work non-stop for 40 minutes and then you rest for 10 minutes. It's called the Pomodoro technique. That's a technique that helps you stay consistent. There's also the 5-minute rule, where if this is a task I can finish in 5 minutes, you do it immediately. If this is something that I can finish in 3 minutes, 2 minutes, then do it immediately. There's no need to push it. Procrastination is something that you have to be intentional about avoiding. Another thing is being reactive instead of proactive. Now, one thing you need to know is, as someone that works especially remotely, you don't have the luxury to wait for someone to tell you what to do all the time. You have to be a proactive person. I don't have to remind you, or you don't have to be reminded of what you have to do. You don't have to wait for them to tell you, oh, I want this done. If you feel like this is a problem you can solve, go ahead and solve it. And that's actually another thing we teach in our bootcamp. It's actually a really good way of getting cold clients. Because when you check out their social media, you check out their website, check out their LinkedIn pages, you send them cold DMs or cold emails and tell them, okay, this is a service I can give you. This is a problem I noticed on your page. Maybe your website is not up, or you don't have SSL, or your Instagram doesn't have optimized videos, and this is a problem I can solve. You need to be somebody that can solve problems. Because like I said before, there are competitors everywhere. There is no line of work that you want to go into that there is no competitor. So you have to do things that always stand you out. So you have to be proactive. You don't have to wait to be told what to do. And then finally is apologizing too much, overusing apologies. When you apologize too much, you undermine your authority. When you apologize too much, people get to see you finish. So even if you're wrong, which you should try to avoid, but we're all human beings, we're going to miss deadlines. NEPA is going to do something that is going to put us in problem, right? But you need to try to make these situations or events as minimal as possible, so they don't use it to know you. I know I used to have a staff that everybody knew him as the late comer. So that was his signboard. He's a late comer. So whatever we were doing, wherever we were going, we knew that yes, this dude is a late comer, and we accept him and love him like that. But it's a bad thing to be known by, because your employer cannot depend on you on certain things when he knows that this negative trait is something that you have. So Instead of you to keep complaining about your electricity going off, look for a neighbor that has their generator on. Buy a power bank. Do something that, in fact, let me tell you, if you know that this has caused someone to complain more than once, you have to work towards working on it. Unless it's something that's completely out of your control, then you actually have to think about relieving yourself of the role or pushing, because nothing is really comfortable. The fact that you work from home does not mean you're not working. The only thing it's saving you is the time you're spending in traffic or the time you're sitting around your colleagues. So you have more time to concentrate. But if you spend all your time watching Netflix or you spend all your time on TikTok or on Instagram, you apply to one job and then you spend 30 minutes on Instagram. You design one flyer and then you spend 1 hour on a show on Netflix. The scale is not balanced. So, in summary, to succeed remotely, you have to cultivate habits of punctuality, habits of proactive communication, habits of professional communication, habit of consistency. So, I'll say that again: punctuality, proactive communication, confident professionalism, and consistency. Once you have these 4 keys, you're good to go. I just realized that I haven't really been tapping on my slides. So I'm just going to move on. And now let's move on to our fixes. Now I have said all these things that I've said are the problems that job seekers have. What are the fixes? Because most webinars you join, they tell you all the issues, they tell you all the problems, and they don't give you keys or practical steps on how to solve them. But not here, right? So fix number 1, discipline and consistency. How do I fix my discipline and consistency? Create a job search schedule. Now, you don't even have to take so long. Start small. It's just like gymming or really anything. You start small and then you build your tolerance. So you can start with 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, and you just dedicate that time to applying for jobs. And you have a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet has like a tracker where there's a job title, there's company, there's follow up, and follow up is basically if you have a response. And another key is these kind of sheets help you along the line because they help you see how many rejections you're getting, how many interviews you're getting, how many people say they will call you back. And this is one way, or this is the most important way to actually vet your own self. So that's why it's important to, if you don't discipline yourself, when people give you projects, you cannot be disciplined in those projects. So pick a time every day. From today, pick a time every day and say, I'm using this time to apply for jobs. And then have a tracker where you state what and what you've applied for, what job you applied for, where you applied for it. So the example in our sheets here is the 10-3-1 rule: 10 applications, 3 callbacks, 1 interview. Because you cannot tell me that you apply properly. Keyword is properly. You can't tell me you apply properly and you don't get a call back after 10 applications. Not after this interview. Not after this webinar, rather. So set a clear time, even if you cannot do every day. Maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And like I said, you build your consistency from there. And always tell yourself, if I don't build my own discipline, I cannot handle another person's project. So that's our first fix. Fix number 2, professional presentation and online persona. Excuse me. You cannot look confused online. On Instagram, you're a model. On Twitter, you are a Davido fan. What do they even call Davido fans? I don't remember. I don't remember what they call Davido fans. But I know they are all, for some reason, they're always dragging each other on Twitter. And so on Twitter, that's what you are. On LinkedIn, you're an entry level virtual assistant and you're this professional on LinkedIn. But on your other platforms, there's nothing professional about you. And that's why one thing I advise people is it's okay to private your accounts, because it's better that a recruiter goes on your page and does not have access and has to request access than they go on your page and then they see one comment you made or one picture you posted that is not professional at all. Because as much as you might say, oh, it's not their business, your real life is very important when you're getting certain jobs, because your online persona is what the clientele of your employer will be looking out for. Unless you're going to be a behind the scenes staff, and sometimes so you need you're a behind the scenes staff. Let's say you work for Google and then you make one post about race, maybe a racist post. You work for Google, you are affiliated with Google. There's going to be, if anybody files a lawsuit, or if there's a problem, or there's like a big issue from that post you made, it's going to be clearly written, Google employee made a racist post and now it's being dragged online. You don't want to be that guy. And that's why it's important that your online presence actually showcases who you are. One thing about us is that we try to be who we're not online, but we're not kids anymore. We're adults now. If you are a professional video editor, and that is what puts food in your pocket, that puts money in your pocket, why do you want to advertise it on one place and not in the other place? It's like going to the market with your goods, and then you're hiding it from some people, and then you're showing it to other people. Makes no sense. So your online persona has to be professional. Update your CV. If you can look at the slides, you see we have update your CV. Optimize your LinkedIn. Go and change that picture that you put in 2009. Change it. You are now a fine woman. You are now a fine man. Go and update that picture. Let people know that you are seeing money, even if you're not seeing money. Because nobody wants a poor person or a broke person on their team. Nobody wants somebody that is timid or that cannot speak for themselves. I know when I was taking a course, a PHR course, a recruiter was telling us a story. And he said that one time he was trying to fill a role for a very high class classified agency. And it was actually an internship, because some of these agencies you must only enter from an internship position. So he said that he got on the page of this lady and somebody made a comment, like a very disrespectful comment. And she was so civil. She didn't let him disrespect her. Like, she put him in his place immediately, stood up for herself immediately. And the man was like, yes, this is the kind of person that we want on our team. We don't want somebody that will come and start trading words online, words that don't make any sense. She schooled that man. Those were the words that he used in that class. He said she schooled that man. So what is the persona that you have online? Are you the person that every time there's a Facebook drama, you're on top of it? You're making terrible comments. that you don't want your HR to see. You have to stop. Another very important point is your email address. Our boot camp, if you ask any people from our boot camp, the first thing they'll tell you is that we ask them to create a professional email address. You cannot be asking for a job that will be paying you 500,000, 600,000, or even in pounds or dollars, and then your email address is sexybaby442, princess fairy 337, hot guy 440. Your email address is the first thing they see. So imagine seeing application for social media manager from sexybaby442. I am not going, in fact, no recruiter is going to take that person seriously. So if you know that your email address now is sexybaby442, hot guy, one funny to, you know those to-go names that we used to do then in uni or even in high school. This is not uni anymore. This is not high school anymore. Go and change it. Update your WhatsApp DP. Update your WhatsApp DP. Update your WhatsApp bio. So that anywhere people come and they want to reach out to you and they want to talk to you, they know, okay, this is the person I'm looking for. Don't be that person that will go and maybe insult or drag somebody on their page and even pin it on their page. Maybe you drag one vendor, call the vendor all sorts of names, caused all the trouble online, and you even had the audacity to now pin it on your page. Like anybody that wants to see the page to come and see that I am a troublemaker. When the recruiter will come, the recruiter will look at it and say, are you sure this person is not going to come and start fighting my current staff? So now moving on to the third fix, which is the skill-based confidence. How do you hone your confidence? See, if you cannot sell your market, if you cannot sell yourself, another person cannot do it for you. If somebody cannot ask you to tell them about yourself, and you cannot do it confidently, and you cannot be convincing to make the person want to just do a transfer immediately, then you have to work on your skill-based confidence. Your confidence is what will make you say no to a client that you will tell 10,000 naira for a design or 20,000 naira for a design, and they'll tell you they want to give you 4K. Your confidence in your skill and yourself is what will make you tell some clients, I'm sorry, I don't think I can take this project. It's not every job you can take. It's not every client you take. That's another thing that you need to learn. There are some people's money that's like a bone. They will suck it out of you. And it's really easy for you to see this kind of clients from the onset. If I will not give you all the gist of all this, because if you want me to give you all these gists, you have to join our boot camp. So I'm sorry. That is where I'm going to stop. Now, fix number 4. You've done all these other things. Your online presence is spick and span. Your skill base is so good because you've practiced and you've honed and you're confident in what you can do. What's the next thing? You take ownership of your job search. Nobody's going to do it for you. Excuse me. Nobody is going to motivate you to get a job. Maybe nobody. Nobody is going to beg you. In fact, the way Nigeria is so hard now, I don't think anybody has to beg you. Nigeria is hard. But you know what is harder? It is your lack of action. Are you taking action? Ask yourself, am I taking action? What am I doing? Have I stopped blaming every other thing? See, human beings, if you want to start giving excuses, ha, they are ready. They will give you 100. Instead of you to write down 5 reasons why you cannot do it, it's better for you to write down even 2 reasons why you can. You always have to have a positive response and a positive mindset. What is your weak point? Is it your skill? Practice. Take courses. Join boot camp. Take internships. Practice, practice, practice. That's the only thing that can make you perfect. Is it your confidence? Work on your confidence. Call people. How far? Come. Can you ask me some of these questions? Can I answer you? Can we have like a mock interview? Can we hop on a call and I pitch my product or I pitch my service to you? Tell me what you think. That's a very quick way of building your confidence. Is it networking? This networking, me, I have a problem with it because I've been working from home for so long. I am now an inside body. It is so difficult to get me outside. But so if I cannot go to physical events and network, you have to do online networking. Because after making yourself, you've made your skills, you've made your confidence, you've done all this work on yourself. You cannot do it for you. You cannot keep it to yourself now. Somebody else has to know about it. You have to make noise about the things you can do. And that's why you need to network. You go on LinkedIn, you connect to people that you feel like they might need your services. You go on people's websites, you look out for problems that you feel like you can solve, and you help them solve them. Mute noise. On social media, there is so much noise, but at the same time, there is also so much value. So it only depends on what you are looking for. Are you always looking for gist? Unfollow them or mute that app until you have free time. Use your time productively because you only get 24 hours in a day. And once a day is gone, any day you spend wasting, not building in yourself, not investing in your knowledge, it's a day that is gone. Especially if you are out looking for remote jobs. You have to be intentional about setting up networks. I can give you an example of how you can set up a very basic networking list. You can just create different influencer lists because you know that influencer pages and gist pages are the pages that have most engagement, right? So you create lists of those kind of pages. You engage with people in the comments. You try to get on that emotional and on that natural level with them. Because, like I always say, it's a lot of competitors. What stands you out? What makes you stand out? That is what is important. Now, our final fix. Our final fix is the communicating real value. Most times you open people's CVs. I open people's CVs as a recruiter and I see a lot of, yeah, it's good, but when you see something over and over again, at some point, it gets boring, right? I don't want to hear that you are highly motivated. I meet a lot of highly motivated people every day. What does highly motivated even mean? Does it mean I have to shout before you get motivated? Does it mean I have to clap before you get motivated? What is the highly that will motivate you? What is result driven? When you use all these words, you have to back them up because all this, they are just fluff. They're not impressive anymore. So your CV has to have bullet points asking 2 very important questions. What problem did I meet there? What problem did I solve? So if you're reading your CV today, these are the two important questions you're asking yourself. What problem did I meet in this business or in this agency when I joined? And what problem did I solve? Instead of saying things like, oh, I was highly motivated, I was result driven, you give us concrete results, concrete numbers. I increased sales by 30%. I saw someone's portfolio today and she actually took a screenshot of the analytics of the page she was handling before she started and after she started. And I was like, that's very good. That is proof. You cannot argue with this one. So instead of saying, I did this, I did that, I did that, handle this, handle that, did you solve a problem? You can handle everything. You can handle anything. But did you actually solve a problem with that thing that you handled? What were the issues? What were the pain points? And what were the solutions? I'm about rounding up. Okay. Now, I've been talking, right? I've been talking about all these points, all these ideas, right? Oh, and it sounds overwhelming. Yes, I understand. It's making sense to you. I want to communicate. I want to be more professional. I want to be more intentional. I want to be more consistent. But how do I go through? How do I go step by step? So we created a remote worker bootcamp, a remote worker toolkit. If you check, I'm sure that if you're on our community, you must have seen it once or twice. I know that the price is 10,000, is 15,000. But just in this webinar, we're going to be giving it out for 5,000 naira. It's a 26 in one. In fact, the one that we had before, it's not, this is the updated one. I'm going to quickly share my screen so that you can see everything that you're going to be getting in this particular toolkit. So once you make payments, you're going to get access to this. So this is the 26. I don't know if you guys can see my screen. This is the 26 in one drive that you're the only one that has access to, and you have access to it for life. It's a lifetime access. There are step-by-step tools that you need that will help you. I don't know if you guys can see my screen clearly. Let me see if I can zoom it out a bit. Yes, okay. I think that's better. Yeah. So as you can see, this is a welcome to the toolkit that explains how to use each of them. Then we have 1A, which is a CV template for virtual assistants and people that work in admin. So all you have to do is copy and paste. As you're honing your skills, as you're getting better with your courses or whatever it is you're doing to set yourself up as a virtual assistant or a digital person or a tech support, there are CVs for all of this, right? Templates. So we have the creative and digital support, we have tech support, we have freelance. So these are the 4 CVs, the 4 CV templates you're going to be getting in this guide. People that already patronize us, they know that we charge 10,000 naira per CV. But with how intentional I need you to be with your job search, you cannot be paying 10,000 naira for every CV you want to do. And so you have a template that all you have to do is copy and paste. They are ATS standard approved. They have keywords that recruiters actually look out for in their ATS systems. Now, after not just the 4 CVs, after that, you have the LinkedIn optimization guide, which is a step-by-step of what you should do on your LinkedIn to make yourself both visible and showcase your expertise and your professionalism, and also increase your visibility to people that might be prospective leads. So there are certain settings, there are certain keywords that you get to use or you have to use that you'll be giving access to when you get this toolkit. Not just that, we have 2 cover letters. I always say you'd never send an application without a cover letter. Whether you're putting the cover letter as the email body or you're making a separate document, that is completely up to you. But we have 2 cover letter templates here that has the same thing. All you have to do is copy, edit, and save. Okay. And then next thing we have here is a remote portfolio template. So people that are trying to focus on remote work, there are certain keywords, there are certain links, there are certain things that you should put on your tech portfolio that will make it attractive to recruiters abroad. Okay, so this template is what is going to help you with your remote portfolio, setting up your remote portfolio. You can use Canva, it's going to be very easy. You can use ChatGPT to come up with the content. It's really fun. So yeah. Then the next is the video pitch scripts. I'm sure some of you that have started applying for abroad agencies and abroad jobs, you know that you have to pitch a video. So we have a script template here that is universal, right? It's not just universal, it's also achievable. So it's not too long, it's not too wordy. It's something that you can actually grasp. And if you use it more than once, more than 2 times, trust me, you don't even need a script. You won't need to edit the script when you want to pitch a video. And you know, sometimes for every application you're sending, you're pitching a video. And so it's also going to reduce the turnover time with which you're creating videos. The next document in our toolkit is the internet speed and workspace checklist. Now, you need to check your internet speed. Sometimes they would even ask you to do a speed test, right? So internet speed is very important. And sometimes I know somebody that has failed an interview because they did not know what a speed test was. So this will teach you how to take a speed test. This will teach you how to explain the speed test. And also a workspace checklist. There are things you need to have in your workspace, whether you're working from your living room, your bedroom, your office, your home office, whatnot. There are certain things you need to have in place so you don't burn out and you stay productive. Okay. Then we have a daily productivity planner. So this is just a little jot where you write down the things you need to do, and then you get to arrange them in order of importance, and that way it helps you stay productive. All right. Next thing there is interview prep. This is like everything you need. Once you get these toolkits, you don't need anything else to start up. Okay, so interview prep these are questions that are remote specific. So they are remote job specific. For people that want to start remote jobs, you start practicing them with your spouse, practice them with your friends, practice them on your own so that you get used to these questions. So whenever you come across them or you ask these questions, you're more confident when you're answering them. Next on the list is 15. We're going to give you a list of 15 verified remote job sites that actually employ Nigerians. So all these documents that you have, that you're creating, that you're setting up your LinkedIn, your portfolio, your CVs, we're going to tell you the sites to start applying them on, even the portfolio you're creating as well. So we're going to give you 15 sites that employ Nigerians, not for the ones you see on LinkedIn that you go and they now start telling you, oh, somewhere in the US, somewhere in Canada. These ones are actually employing all around the world. Then the next template here is cold email and WhatsApp bio templates for people that want to reach out to clients, reach out to businesses to pitch their services. Like I talked about before, you go on LinkedIn, you go on Instagram, you reach out to, you find people that probably don't have websites or don't have social media pages, and then you reach out to them and offer to do it for them for a fee. So that's a cold email, and we have templates for that as well as WhatsApp. And then we have a remote job application tracker, which is a Google Sheet. One thing you will notice is everything is done here. All you have to do is just enter and enjoy. And these are things that I had to gather over the years, a lot of trial and error, and I compiled this list. It is supposed to be 15,000, but just in this webinar, we're going to be giving it out at 5,000 naira just till Sunday. After Sunday, it's back to 15, because I'm sure you can see all the value that is here, right? So just from now to Sunday, it goes for 5,000, and after that, it's back to 15. Now, after your remote job application tracker, which keeps you accountable for the jobs you're applying for every day, the next thing is the work readiness self-assessment checklist. Are you ready to put yourself out there? If you're called for an interview, if you're told to talk about what you do you feel you're confident enough? Do you have the proper computers? Do you have the proper gadgets? Do you have the proper internet? Are you work ready? Because if you're not ready, you're going to flop. So this particular checklist or document is going to ask you some questions every week. When you answer those questions, you now see, okay, I think I have to go back and do some more practice. I think I have to get a better mic. I think I have to get a better computer, get a better keyboard. This template is going to help you with that intentionally every week. Then we have a remote work software guide, which is just a cheat sheet of tools that can automate your work. Okay, so if it's emails, if it's calls, if it's whatever it is, these are tools that I've used and our team has used that has automated our work. So it's just a small cheat sheet. I'm not going to go too much into it. When you buy the book, when you buy the book, you get everything, right? Now we also have a remote job title list, which is basically it's basically jobs or descriptions or job titles that people are looking for, employers are looking for now. You know that employers are not really looking for receptionists these days, and people are leaning towards virtual assistants, leaning towards graphic designers. So there are certain remote job titles that are very hot: web designers, app designers, website developers. These are job titles that are really hot, and so we give you a list, and then you can now go and check it out and see that when you're creating your CVs or your portfolios, these are the job titles you're going to use so that it clicks in the ATS system. Okay. Then we have this is just an excerpt of what you can expect in our remote worker bootcamp. I'm not really going to advertise it a lot. Right now we're in class, and you can ask some people and they will tell you how amazing it has been. It has been a very wonderful event so far. So if you want more information on the remote worker bootcamp, you can reach out to us on the webinars group and we'll give you more information on that, right? Then another thing you're going to get is a 30-day remote job habit tracker. They say if you do something for a month, it becomes a habit, right? So this is a habit tracker that will keep you accountable for 30 days. So day one, what are you doing? Are you doing it on day two? You have to keep yourself accountable. You're doing the same thing. So if you say 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day, I'm taking a course, every day at that time, you have to track it to make sure you're staying consistent. And trust me, even before the end of 30 days, every 10:30 a.m., your body is already used to getting ready for that particular course. And finally, we have a client communication template because, like I said, communication is really, really important. So you need to know how to properly have conversations with clients and have proper, what's the word? When people reach out to you, there's a difference between, hi, what do you do? and you say, oh, I'm a graphic designer, and somebody that has like a portfolio or even a website that they now send, and the client is very impressed. These are things that this is what it means, or what we mean when we say that you have to be intentional. So thank you to everyone that, yeah, thank you to everyone that has been here. Yeah, I can see your comments. Thank you for your comments. Yeah, don't give up. That's the most important thing. Consistency. Ayomide Mary says that rejection gives her chills. Trust me, my love, you're going to get rejections. I'm not here to tell you you're not going to get rejections, because, like I said, there's a lot of people everywhere that they are more experienced than you. They have more certifications than you. But you cannot be rejected every day. And if you do the work, if you put in the work and you are proper, you're intentional about your online persona, you're intentional about your applications, your rejection rates are going to drop. Okay, so I think we should call it an end today. I have had a wonderful session with you guys. I can see your comments. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support of everyone that has been with us to this point. Like I said, if you're interested in getting the ABS Remote Worker Toolkit and to get access to all these things I have said, and practical steps, and also guides and templates that will help you move from one step of saying, oh, I want to work remotely, to actually saying, I am working towards getting my dream remote job. This is an opportunity you don't want to miss. It ends on Sunday. Gina is going to come on the group and she's going to give all the information for the payment details and the rest. And I think that should be it for this particular session. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments, and I have about 2 minutes to look at your questions. And without further ado, I will end the session. Thanks again for staying with us to this point. I've seen that our views have dropped, but it's well. So if there's any questions, please give us a comment and let's talk about it before we end this session. So if you're not part of our remote worker job seeker community, please ask on the webinar group to be added there. We post a lot of job openings, especially remote job openings. So try to be a part of that community and try to be intentional about applying and buy this remote worker toolkit. There's a lot of people that have gotten their copies and they have come to tell me that this has made their life so much easier. It is like all my years of work in one PDF. So you don't want to miss this. So in the absence of any other questions, this is exactly 7:58. And I'm going to thank you again for your time and thank you for joining. And I hope this session was wonderful. Even though this session was wonderful for you, drop in the comments how you can pay, my darling Rosemary. Grace and Gina are going to drop the information on the group, and so you can pay on the group. All right. So if this session was wonderful, if you enjoyed this session, drop a comment that you enjoyed this session. Even on the group, don't allow us to lose the momentum. You have to keep the fire going. Before I end this session, I want to talk to a certain group of people that want to make money. Because I'm an Igbo woman, and I'm sure that some of us here too. In fact, it's not just me being an Igbo woman. Money is good, right? So we have another webinar that is coming up on the 20th of this month. But it is just for people that want to transition. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're working or you're a job seeker, you're an NYSC member, and you want to start your own consulting firm. You don't need any investment. You just need to learn the basics. You need to get the proper training. So in the webinar, we're going to be talking about it, just telling you how much you can earn as a HR consultant, how to start, how to earn, the structures to put up, the branding, everything. You don't want to miss this particular session. So also on the group, Gina is going to talk about the flyer. She's going to share the flyer and the registration link. Just like this particular webinar, registration is important for you to join. So when you join, you're going to also get a free gift. I'm not going to tell you what the free gift is, but register for this particular webinar and get a free gift immediately. So we're going to go on our webinar group where we have our conversations, continue our conversations. If you want to buy the toolkit, just tell us on the group that you want the toolkit. If you want to register for the webinar, let us know you want to register for the webinar and get your free gift. So thank you so much for joining. I can see your comments. I can see the love. Until our next webinar on the 20th, I will see you guys. Trust me, in this journey of finding a job, you're not just finding a job, you are building yourself. You're building your professional persona. So when people see you outside, when people see you, they know that, okay, this person knows what they are talking about. This person knows what, this person can actually do the things that they say they can do. So I cannot thank you enough for joining this session, and I will see you guys next week. Or yeah, is it next week? 20th. Yeah, that's next week. So don't forget to register for the boot camp. And if you want access and the webinar as well, and if you want access to the toolkit, don't forget to say the word. We're going to see you guys on the webinar. We're going to ask you questions, give us your feedback on what you felt about this webinar. Tell us what really stuck to you. Tell us what really inspired you. And we'll be more than happy to hear your comments on the group. You can share this replay to your friends and your family. If you want to watch it again later, please do that. And in the case, I'm going to see you guys next week. Bye.